Because the ACLU now says it's suing the state of Texas to block this newly signed law, which allows local law enforcement to arrest migrants who cross the border. And with that, let's bring John Sandweg in on as a former acting ICE director in the Obama administration. It's good to see you, sir. First, just give us your thoughts on this, the way Texas has gone about this. It's a controversial move, which I guess shouldn't surprise anybody from Governor Abbott, but what do you think of the effectiveness of it potentially?
Well, look, I understand Texas's frustration, right? We have an unprecedented crisis at the border. We have record numbers of individuals crossing. I mean, really numbers that kind of boggle the mind, right? These are far in excess of anything we've seen over the last 20, 30 years in this country. The problem here, though, is they're going about it the wrong way. I mean, I don't want to sound cynical, but I think a lot of the intention with this law was to maximize attention on the governor and get political attention on this issue. But from an effectiveness perspective, it's really not going to do much to solve the current problem. The current problem is a byproduct of our failure to invest in our border security apparatus and especially our asylum system. That's created a loophole that these migrants are taking advantage of, being coached and coerced by smuggling organizations. The problem here, though, is rather than dedicate state and local resources to go investigate the drug cartels who are taking advantage of the chaos and who in many ways are profiting from it, we're instead shifting attention to the low-level economic migrants and really just not going to make a difference in terms of stemming the overall flow or diminishing the number of people showing up at our border.
Yeah, from a practical standpoint, it's not even clear if some of these local authorities are really chomping at the bit to get in on the action on this, because some, from the commentary I've seen and the people we've spoken to, say that they would be overwhelmed by adding additional workload on their front. And there's also been this concern brought up, and I think it was in El Paso County, where one of the local sheriffs said, you know what, we're concerned. We have a mostly Hispanic community here, and we're getting engaged in what some might perceive as racial profiling and things like that, and that might not be helpful for our local police departments. So it does put a lot of pressure now that the law's in place in some of these local departments.
Yeah, look, I had an opportunity to work with a lot of state and local law enforcement when I was at Homeland Security and when I was at ICE, worked with a lot of great federal agents at ICE. Generally speaking, you get into law enforcement because you want to get big fish. You want to get people who are threatening public safety, and you don't want to go focus on low-level economic migrants who really are just trying to find a better life for themselves and their families. I'm not saying that we don't need to stop the border situation. We do. We need to flood resources into our asylum system and kind of actually enforce federal law. We've lost our ability to do that because the numbers have overwhelmed the system. But look, as you noted, this raises lots of problems for state and locals. One is it diverts resources away from public safety cases. They only have so many prosecutors, so many judges available, so much jail space, so many investigators. And now you're not focusing on public safety cases, you're focusing on these migrants. But the chilling effect is a real problem. Look, any detective, any federal investigator will tell you, I'm only as good as my sources. I need people who live in those communities to tell me what's going on. And a real problem with a byproduct of one of these laws is that you create a chilling effect where now the Latino community or the immigrant community looks at those state and local law enforcement as a threat, and no longer someone is going to come help them get those bad actors. And just even on basic things like domestic violence, just creates a chilling effect where you don't want to call the police. So look, lots of problems with it. And then the bigger problem here is how much, what are we getting out of this from a border security perspective? And the answer really is very little to nothing.
There is still the question, though, if not this, then what should we be doing? Because to your point, which you've already acknowledged, and everybody has to with all the numbers that are that we see on a daily basis, this is a problem. And it gets us into the negotiations that are happening in Washington right now. Looks like maybe they get pushed to the new year, but they're still happening, where there's going to be something done if there's a compromise on border security in order to fund the wars in Ukraine and Israel. What is that something? What makes sense? There's been talk about tightening asylum laws and other compromises that President Biden and the Democrats might have to make. What's the answer?
Look, I personally believe we could have done this by flooding resources, right? Flood the zone with the rule of law. Surge immigration judges, surge asylum officers, and then quickly give people their hearing and remove them from this country. And when people back home see that the person who left to make an asylum claim didn't, when they come back, it's gonna have that deterrent effect we're looking for. But the alternative is, I think, what the Senate is discussing. Are there ways to streamline the process? If we're not going to surge resources, can we eliminate the process? Look, I think the devil's in the details. We've got to see what the Senate comes up with, so it's hard to judge the effectiveness of that before we see any plan from the Senate. But, ostensibly, if you reduce the process that's due, because that's what we just don't have enough resources on. So if you change the law, streamline that process, allowing the agency, the ICE and DHS to deport those people more quickly, that could potentially solve the problem as well.
It's a solvable problem, though, in your view? I mean, you worked in the Obama administration when it was a problem. It was in the Trump administration as well. But again, these numbers are so much greater than they've ever been. It's a solvable problem?
Yeah, it's a simple issue. Look, people are coming here. They see their neighbors leave this country. They get recruited by smugglers. They pay everything they got to these smugglers. They see their neighbors leave and go make this asylum claim, and then next thing they know, they're successful, right? Our system is so overwhelmed that if you show up at the border today and you say, I want asylum in this country, it very easily could be 3, 4, 5, 6 years before an immigration judge decides whether you have a real claim. During that time, you probably also get work authorization to live and work in this country. As long as that remains a fact, there's no disincentive for people to come, right? And then let's be honest, there's very little enforcement on the back end of that. Even after 6 years where the immigration judge says, no, you're not eligible for asylum, we're not doing much to actually remove those individuals, deport them back to their home countries. So yes, I absolutely think it's solvable. We just got to put some resources into enforcing the existing laws.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.